Hey, Julie. So here is my process. So I start with the Braille file, as you know. I copy the whole thing, lines, thank you very much. And then I go to my Illustrator file and I get the T icon there and stick it up in the far left corner of the top artboard. Then I hit paste and all the Braille goes in. So however many pages of Braille there were in the file, they all go in all in order, one column at a time, a column of 10 artboards. So the reason they go in like that is if I click that, you'll see that all the text is threaded. So it starts up in the top left corner and the Braille follows down and then from one artboard to the next and then back up to the top again. So this file can have up to 60 pages or artboards, other ones don't. Sometimes I get rid of the threaded text. I remove the threading because it seems to take Illustrator a long time to save it. And as I go along, and I save all the time because it tends to crash. And so, in fact, it crashed during this recording, so you'll see it. Anyway, so it tends to crash, so I try to get rid of the threading so that it makes it less complex for it to remember. So then I lock the Braille layer, and then I put in the tactile graphics wherever they may be. And usually I work on two screens, so I have a huge display, so it's very odd to be doing it on this laptop, but it's the only one that had a microphone. So I have to scrunch it over to try to show you what it is I'm working from. So usually I have it sort of to one side, and then I bring up my PDF of whatever it is I'm working on. So say, oh, look, I should do this heart here. Like if I had to do the heart shape or any other, usually I'd use all those shape tools, but with some random shapes, where did this one go? I think it goes, keep going, keep going. You can see that Trumbull usually puts a TG stamp on the pages where I'm going to be putting a tactile because especially that's helpful on these kind of things. They're from online materials that have no page numbers. Anyway, so I have another file that has lots. This file is called 2G, 2G shapes, 2D shapes, sorry. And it's got just these random things. There is the heart. So if I have to do the heart, then I just copy that. Then I go back to my main file and I paste it in and then size it. And you'll see that I have like 4 files open in Illustrator right now, and I'm jumping back and forth among them. This is what Illustrator doesn't like. So in a minute here, it's going to say it stopped working. And then we'll pause and start again. But yeah, that's how I do that. So some other files that I have of templates I have this one that's 3D images that I have made over the years. Many, many of them. As we know, they're close to useless for somebody who is visually impaired. Oh, and there are the cube formations, which I detest. And usually these are worthless, but you know, sometimes the TVI says they want them, so we do them. Then I have this other file that has measurements, so I have things like thermometers that I can select and change the level of the mercury in, like that. And then I have measuring rulers for measuring exercises, a paperclip, clocks where you can change the time like that. And then this little glass. It's like one of those old fake baby bottle things. You can make it more or less full with the arrow key. Is this where it freezes? I don't know. Anyway, so once I've got all the tactiles in there, there, it froze. Look at that. This time it worked to just close the program. So I suppose that's good. Ooh, look, I go pause back and forth. Okay, so once I have the whole thing done, say I have all the tactiles in here. Oh, also, I just wanted to show you that I can mess around with the Braille in the file. I just unlock that layer and enter or put in whatever I want to. The only thing I have to watch for is that page number at the bottom, because if I go too far down, it disappears. So if I have to lower something, I have to bring that up. But that's the only challenge there. It doesn't bump it onto the next page, which I find helpful because it doesn't mess with anything else. And, oh, I wanted to show you this other thing too. So I'll just use this page. So if I am like drawing a square, so here are my graphic styles I can use, all the different kinds. Some just are filled with a different strength of line. Other ones are not filled, or just the shadings, and some have, it makes it look as though I filled it, so it has the white space around the square on the inside. And then if I wanted to label it, all these labels already have white space involved in them, so that I know exactly how close I can get to the figure without having it be too close for the Braille, because the white space would overlap on the rectangle. So let's see, if I wanted to make a line, and I would use any of these graphic styles for that, like the arrow or an arrow with white space. You probably have this. Double-ended arrow, no white space. This is the lighter color. The blue for the tiger comes off as the lightest, at least what we found, is the lightest texture that we can do and still have it be readable. So that's what we use for grid lines and things like that. Other than that, yes, many things like, oh, right. Then there are, that's a point, obviously with white space, and then there's a point that I would use in a scatter plot because it doesn't need white space. Let's see. Oh, right. And then if I also have, whoops, gotta make that some color. I also have right angle marks in all the 4 different possible directions that I put in there. I ended up making these because I got tired of having, it's so easy to make the right angle mark look too big or be too big. And so this has really helped to make it so that no matter how big I have to make the tactile to make it readable, still the right angle mark remains the same size. So after I get all this stuff done, then I go up to Save As and put it on the desktop. And then what I usually do for our process is we save it as a PDF, and then we send it off to our office where they emboss it, and they send the hard copy off. But sometimes when I'm doing some other kind, like a speedy, like an ASAP rush project, we just send them the PDF and they run it off on their Tiger at a school. And it ends up looking like this in the PDF. That's how it is. And that's what I do. Bye.